Let's take a look at what's going on over here at the Fractured Archive, boys. If you guys remember the last time we looked at the Fractured Archive blog, there were some things that were a little controversial, including the armor. The armor, well, they proposed like this hybrid armor, like an upgrade to Moon's gear, and it was a bit too OP and also not good enough at the same time. So they took that out. So let's see. What has changed since last time? The breaker will now roll damage 2 times by default, and then an extra roll for every melee defense that's higher than crush, meaning it rolls 4 times on an enemy who's weakest to crush. Okay. That's a way of like making sure that this weapon is superior on anything that's weak to crush. This means that it still blows Scythe out of the water against enemies weakest to crush, but it also is a little more competitive versus NPCs with neutral defensive stats. We still think Scythe should win out a little on neutral NPCs since the Breaker is much stronger in its crush niche than Scythe is in its slash niche. Right. They want this weapon to be stronger than Scythe and Crush, like by a mile. I get it. That's good. Additionally, we'll be offering a ranked choice opinion survey question to pit 3 distinct Breaker concepts against each other. I've seen some people that were talking about how the Breaker looks. They weren't happy that it looked like a Tazar weapon. And so we might get more of a Gothixian theme. I guess we'll take a look at that and we'll put our vote later to see which one we like the best. Gatekeeper's Cane has been changed to a Gothixian book. Okay, so there's no more cane. It's a big book now called a Zorya's Tome. And it's now a 2-handed magic special attack weapon. Whoa, that's kind of cool. A 2-handed magic weapon. All right, very similar to like a shadow, but it's a book. That's kind of cool. I like when you're like casting spells from a book. I think that's always looked pretty cool. I like it in Black Desert Online. It looks sick. Special attack and subsequent buff now hits 150 increased accuracy and 60 increased damage, up from 100% and 50%. Okay. To compensate for becoming a 2-handed weapon, magic accuracy has been increased to 45. And the damage has been increased to 15% from 0. Okay. Dude, how sick would that be if you're like holding a book and like you're casting spells and there's some kind of animation? That could be kind of sick. Zeal now has additional requirements, 75 attack and strength on top of pre-existing piety unlock. Got it. So this is the melee prayer upgrade. You're going to need piety unlocked. And you also need 75 attack to use this new prayer. So that's going to hurt the some of the pures that are trying to use it, 60 attack pures maybe. You might be surprised to see us polling already, but we think the foundation here is strong and want to see how you're feeling so we can get a head start implementing any rewards that pass or make further tweaks to anything that might fall short of the threshold. Also worth keeping in mind, we're always open to further changes. So if something passes, but over time we see suggestions, we can improve a reward. Yep. Good. Okay. Untradeable elemental fragments. Okay. These are like a pity RNG mechanic to make sure you can check them off your to-do list in a reasonable time frame. If you consume a tier that Gothic sheds in remembrance of an element, you can use that element to better exploit enemies' weaknesses and dish out more damage. We're sure that it's probably what Gothics would have wanted. Okay. Should we add elemental fragments, untradeable upgrades to your elemental magic spells as a reward from the Fractured Archive as described in the blog? Okay, so basically what happens is there's these elemental motes that drop. And it increases your max hit. Like if you get a fire mote, you now get +2 on your max hit with the Wrath Fire spell. Similar to jewels for a Karis Partisan inside of Tomes of a Masket. We expect these to be pretty common. This kind of makes the elemental damage book useful again. You don't really use it ever in the end game, so I think that this is a good idea to bring it back and give it use. I think it's a good idea. The rondache. The rondache is an ancient artifact wielded in Sardaco's name to use enemies' blows against them by absorbing damage, empowering the rondache to return damage with a magically enhanced shield bash. Right. I like this. This shield is my favorite addition, I think, of all the additions. It counters chip damage. And it also gives you damage for absorbing the chip. So it's going to be very strong at Yama and any other fights with chip damage like Vardorvis, etc. This makes it a strong option for countering chip damage with an interactive twist. Yes, I think that this is an item that's been needed in the game for a bit. I like this item a lot. Chip damage is something that, you know, I don't like very much. So if you have a way of combating against it, I think it's very good. Like Blood Fury is a great thing to combat against chip damage, as well as like this rondache. If you pair them together, you might be able to combat chip damage altogether, which would be insane. Like your KCs at Vardorvis could go through the sky with this item. Should we add the rondache and mitigating damage shield with retaliatory special attack as a reward? Yes. Zorya's Tomb. This looks good. Wait a second. This looks sick. Flutter through the pages and cast spells from the book. Come on, man. Zorya's Tome is an enchanted book full of magical wisdom that would make even the Wizard's Tower inhabitants blush. Turn to the right page, you'll be able to fire off a special attack, which imbues you with lingering power, providing a fast-paced burst damage. Sick. Magic as a style historically lacks any impactful DPS specs. The Volatile Nightmare spec staff enjoys some niche usage in PvP, but lacks accuracy to shine in PvM. Okay, so an actual special attack magic weapon. Kind of like, is this going to be like a ZCB of mage? 150% increased accuracy and 60% increased damage. If it hits, your next 3 attacks have 150% increased accuracy and 60% increased damage and reduce attack delay. Oh! So if you hit him with the boom, then you get the bing, bing, bing right afterwards. And it's hitting for bam, bam, bam. That's kind of crazy. Okay, yeah, that's pretty sick. Like you hit him with the boom, and then you get like a little chain fire, like an automatic, like a fast weapon. This is cool. Okay, guys, now we're cooking. We're cooking. Zorya's Tomb. This might be my new favorite item. The rondache was my favorite item, but this one. This is a cooker. This is a heater right here. The tomb technically acts as a powered staff, but you shouldn't find yourself using it as a DPS weapon too often. Oh! It's below Ayak in regular damage. This is a spec. This is legit a ZCB that you don't auto attack with. So it'd be like T-bow. You have like your T-bow and your ZCB. You'll have your Ayak or your Shadow, and then you'll have your Tome. It's a two-handed weapon. Yeah, I mean, this ZCB is a one-attack big damage. This is a initial big damage followed by three more two-tick hard-hitting hits. So it's like four hits. When you spec, it's like 4 hits, and then your next 3 are big damage, and then you swap. This is like a unique item. There's no Machine Gun Kelly items in the game. You know what I mean? Like this is a hard hit followed by 3 more hits. In effect, the DPS portion of this special attack isn't a single hard-hitting attack, but in empowering yourself with arcane energy to dish out rapid fire hits afterwards. What makes this particular interesting is that because the damage is dealt by buffing you rather than just hitting an enemy, you can spread this damage across targets rather than needing to pull all your eggs in one basket. Okay, so you can actually two-tick different mobs. So you can hit one mob and then you go bing, 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 and you could take out 3 smaller mobs with the special really fast in 2 ticks. Kind of like a blowpipe would. You would like a blowpipe swap. Damn. So there's probably going to be something in Raids 4 where it's a big mob that spawns 3 smaller mobs. You hit the big mob right before he spawns the 3 smaller mobs, and then you swap to them. Boom, boom, boom. Take them all out. You know what I mean? Yeah, like imagine the healers on Jad. You had to kill all of them really fast, and they were all 1 hit. And if you didn't kill them fast enough, they heal too much. So it's like he spawns the healers, you hit them with the special, boom, 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 you hit them all before they can heal. In effect, the DPS is a hard-hitting attack, but empowering yourself. Yeah, so this is sick. Zorya's tome should shine versus enemies where Dragon Claw's accuracy falls short or their hit points are too low to let the Zarite crossbow shine. It's also really easy for us to make the special attack shine if we feel it's falling too far out of favor, since it's simple to balance around. Even in places where the tome doesn't win out over both of these options, where there are plenty where it'll be our next best option, and we'll sure to find cool ways to utilize the ability to spread the damage across multiple targets. Plus, who doesn't want a giant magic book firing off spells? It's way cooler than an e-reader. W. Guys, so far, WWW. Should we add Zeal? Okay, Zeal is an upgrade to Piety. Same drain rate as Piety. It's an additional 6 strength levels for people at 99 strength. Damn. That's like 1.5 max hits or so. Just straight up. It's a simpler reward. I personally think that there needs to be some kind of reason to level your prayer up. So I'm okay with this. I think that there could be prayers in the 80s and maybe a 90. Piety's been around a long time. I think this is a good for the game. It would give me a reason to have to grind prayer past what I already have. So I think so far, guys, 4 for 4. Yes, 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 yes. Ascension crossbows. This is like an upgrade to blowpipe right here. Rapid fire crossbows are a heavy range upgrade to the blowpipe that will have you absolutely peppering your foes with bolts of 3 varieties. We expect these to be a raid tier replacement to the toxic blowpipe with plenty of room to grow and develop over time. If we opt to add new variants of the Ascension bolts with neat effects, the bolts is like, I'm on the fence about the bolts, but let's read more into that. You'll be able to make Ascension bolts from Ascension shards, which can be earned as a reward from the Fractured Archive or mined in the raid lobby while you wait for your teammates to get ready or take a quick break. W. I like both. I like that idea. We really love the idea of giving you more stuff to do in your downtime between runs. So think introducing activities. This is great. Instead of just sitting there waiting to find a group, you could actually be mining. While you're mining, you could be talking to the homies. Yo, you want to do a run? Yeah, that's sick. Or if like you're waiting on Triumphant to log in because he said he was going to be on at 6 p.m. and he doesn't log in until 6:45 and then he yaps for 45 minutes. And so then you really don't even get to go until 7:30 until you have nothing to do for an hour and a half because you're just sitting there waiting on your friend who said he was going to be there, but he never is. And then you're just mining. And so you're actually not wasting all of your XP. We did love the Armadillion Throne Axe suggestion that we saw and have banked cool rapid fire Throne Axes as an option for the future if we'd like to introduce another high performer in the light range category from somewhere that feels appropriate. So great work to Kevinista on your Law and Liberty suggestion. Armadillo Throne Axe. Okay. I'll have to see that one. Should we add the Ascension crossbows, rapid fire, dual wield crossbows as a reward from the Fractured Archive as described in the blog? Run it. I say yes. The Breaker. Yo. Raids Forest rewards is starting to look really good. That's a link to the Reddit art. Armadillion Throne Axe suggestion. Here it is. These look sick. Law and Liberty. That's the name of them? God, I like the name. Unlike standard dual wielding, these axes synchronize rather than hitting in isolation. The first throw provides the tactical data necessary to strike to the second strike's trajectory. 4-tick cycle. Both axes are launched. If the first misses, the second re-rolls its accuracy twice, taking the highest result to ensure a failed opening becomes a precise follow-up. Okay, so it has bad luck protection on the second hit like Eye of Ayak. Final verdict, a 50% spec. Launch both tomahawks simultaneously, locking them into a single spinning projectile. with a 50% accuracy bonus, an attack that delivers a massive single hit, combining the damage of both weapons, amplified by a 10 to 20% boost. Yeah, it's like these basically have confliction gauntlets built into them, where it rerolls the accuracy if you miss on your first attack. I mean, this is a cool item. It looks awesome. I like this item. I don't know if it belongs in raids 4 or not. I'll let the community cook that. I think it looks pretty cool though. I actually think these will come eventually. Jagex don't name drop much stuff. Yeah, that's pretty cool to have your idea called out by Jagex on an actual blog post, which means they're definitely thinking about it. Notably, we've called this the Tazar Ket Breaker here because we've seen your thoughts on the existing visual identity. Want to give you all more choices. Yo, okay. The wonderful mod Jerv has cooked up some additional concepts to maintain the feel of the breaker, but change its theming so it might not draw quite so many unfortunate comparisons from some of you. We'll be polling the breaker functionality as a lock-in question, but we'll be polling these concepts against each other in a ranked choice question so that we can categorically see which of these is resonating the best with as many of you as possible. It's worth noting that all these can be tied into our narrative with ease, even if those connections might not be obvious to you right now. We'll say no more to avoid any spoilers for the lore hounds among you. Got it. Chat, which one are we vibing with here? Red, perp, or green? I'm not gonna lie, guys. This looks like a stoplight. This one looks like badass, like Lord of the Rings type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like the dead kings who ride on the Nazguls. And this looks like a face. This looks like a sad metal pumpkin. I like this one. I like the Titanic Breaker. Now that you've got 3 thematic identities to choose between, the Ket Breaker, Titanic Breaker, or Obligator, regardless of how it looks, the breaker should function the same. So it's rolling damage for accuracy, it's a crush weapon, and it has an alternate style that's a 3-tick. 3-tick for single attack, and 5-tick for the big AoE smash. Breaker has a 1-tile range, just like Scythe of Vitor. You'll need to charge the breaker. Oh, hell no. Of course it's Chargescape. Why wouldn't it be, though? Everything else is Chargescape, too. Using a rune of some kind, we haven't decided yet. Good luck on your panic buying. And Ascension shards, which you'll need to be able to obtain from the raid itself, like vials of blood. So you can either use Ascension shards or you can use a rune. Guys, what rune is going to charge the breaker? More rune crafting, hype. More rune crafting. Probably nature, huh? Astral or Wrath. Probably Wrath runes. Oh, God. If it's Wrath runes, bro, I'm so cooked. I'm so cooked. No shot they make us do 95 rune crafting. No shot. Actually, Death in Nature is a full cook. Guys, Death in Nature is a full cook. That's the most Gothixian thing. Death in Nature. It's skull with vines. That's it. It's Death in Nature. What else could it possibly be? What if they let you put Death or Nature, but if you do both at the same time, you get a discount? You get more charges. You could like combine them. Just like our other, yeah, you'll have to charge it. Okay. As an aside, we know that older iterations of the breaker had people excited for a new BIS option at Nex, which was lost in future iterations. To compensate, we'll be lowering Nex's crush defense so that breaker becomes the new best in slot option here and benefits from all of its damage rolls. Bro, Crush went from being so bad in this game to being just like insanely good now. They've been adding Crush weapons. They're adding a Crush raid. They just everything. Crush is like they just added 2 new Crush bosses. Like Crush is literally crushing it. Now Stab is in the bin. Should we add the Breaker, a hard-hitting best in slot Crush mega rare? Yeah. The blog shows 3 concepts from the Breaker's visual identity. Titanic is the best. All right, can we vote for this? We're hoping to open the polls August 3rd. Oh. That's like 4 days from now. There's a small chance we push this back, so get those voting fingers ready to have your say. Guys, this is it. This is it. These are the Raids 4 rewards. I mean, I liked all of these. This is actually it. And there's no armor. There's no armor set in Raids 4. If you can't figure out what to do, don't do it at all. Type shit. I think the prayer is garbage. Dude, I think it's okay, man. I think at some point you want a reason to have higher prayer than 70. Like the entire game should reward you for doing crazy grinds. Piety is good. Maybe the +6 is a bit much. I was looking at the +6 number, and that was the only real thing from this vlog that I was thinking like was a bit much, was the +6 on the new prayer. It's stupid. Almost everything stops giving you upgrades at 90. Yeah, like imagine Slayer if you didn't have to get 95. Like if you just stopped at like 70, you know? Some of the skills are like that. They need to give rewards for the higher Slayer numbers. Zeal should negate the defensive of piety. Wait, like you could toggle on Zeal and it takes away the defensive piety, but you get more strength? And then you could toggle it off if you want the defense? You turn into a glass cannon? He means get rid of the defense. Separate prayer or a prayer override? I think it could just be a separate prayer. Or maybe it could be a toggle. I think that some people like the idea of being punished for having more damage if it feels too OP. I believe Zeal actually replaces piety as they have it right now. I would be totally okay with the insanely OP offensive buff it gives if it lowers your defense. If it did that, it would need to be a new prayer. And then you would swap them. It would pair well with the rondache per se. Yeah, in like Dragonfire Shield, something that's more tanky to balance out. It's osrs, everything one-shots. We could have minus 100 defense and it wouldn't matter. I don't know. That's an interesting proposal. I guess we'll have to see what the community thinks when they do the voting in a few days. I think that the raids rewards look very good. I'm very happy with these. I'm glad that they decided to get rid of the armor. I didn't think it was a good idea. So this just shows that Jagex really listens to the community. And guys, the fact that we're having these types of conversations is just so amazing. Because coming from somebody who came from World of Warcraft, we feel like the game is the company is so out of touch with the reality of the game. Like just to be able to have these kind of conversations and feel like what we say and think maybe actually matters is just like so awesome. So like massive W to Jagex for like listening to the community, taking feedback, and like altering the rewards for the next raid. Because this would never happen in other games. And it's so cool. It's so cool to sit here and like go through this and actually think that your opinion matters. It's too big of a power jump. They should pace it more. I do think that 6 strength, just straight up, is a lot. It might be too much. So 2 options. They could either lower it a little bit. Maybe like 4 or 3 or something. Or they could do a separate prayer that doesn't have the defense, but it has the strength. So 6 points, 6% prayer is worth much more than gear because it's multiplied earlier in the damage count. I think 6 strength is 1 max hit or maybe 2. Oh, it's easily a max hit. It'll cover for lack of BIS gear kind of in progress, wouldn't it? If it's coming from the hardest raid, it's fine. Power creep in raids is fine as long as it's not crazy. So 2 max hits from a prayer, just straight up. I mean, that's 2 max hits everywhere in the game. You know what I mean? Because you always have prayer. Prayer will sell for 400 million day one. It'll be worth a lot. It'll be worth a lot of money. It shouldn't be able to flick. Make it so you need to keep prayer on to get max prayer bonus from prayer. No one's going to agree with that. You're changing the fundamentals of the game there. Anything doing percent-wise is strong. No more YouTube chat on the screen? What? Literally can see your chat right there. It's bugging sometimes. Oh, I don't know what's going on with it. Hi, YouTube. It's working. Looks fine to me. Yeah. Anyways, guys. What'd you guys think of these rewards? W or L? How you feeling? I better see some W's because like I think this is good. I think they cooked. Rondache? Nah, rondache is good, bro. This is one of my favorite items. I like the rondache. I'm not a huge fan of chip damage. And if I can give the middle finger to chip damage, I'm doing it any way that I can. I'm sorry. I like it.